bummy today. You was bony and looking too funny today. I don't care, nigga still make change. Let's go.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Chat with Cheeze podcast. I'm your host, Fat Cheeze, and y'all already know the motto: no gimmicks, only the real. This is episode 45, and you want to know how y'all know I care? This all script. You want to know how y'all should know that I care about y'all and I love what I do? I'm literally in the middle of watching Game 2, Cleveland versus Indiana. The crazy ender, Tyrese Halliburton just won it for the Pacers, and I had to come right in here and shoot my episode. So that's how you know. So show me the same love, you know what I'm saying, that I show y'all. I appreciate everybody who tapping with me each and every week. Y'all know what I need from y'all. Continue to smash that subscribe button. We are on our way to 300 subscribers. Also, like and share the content when it is dropped. Smash that like button as well too. And let's go ahead and jump right into it. All my boxing fans, y'all know I cover boxing as well too, all major sports. This past weekend was a disappointment as far as boxing went. We thought we was going to have a weekend full of fantastic boxing. Unfortunately, it came up short. You know what I'm saying? The Friday event with Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, it didn't quite hold up to the hype. Ryan Garcia ended up losing to Rolly. Devin Haney ended up putting on a very terrible performance in his matchup. Teofimo looked solid, but the card just it didn't hold the weight. And then on Saturday, the Canelo Álvarez fight, in my opinion, was weak. You know, it just didn't look good. It was a bad weekend for boxing, but even though we was looking forward to that card, I think the best news that came out of this weekend with boxing was we have a mega fight on our hands. So that's how I'm going to start this episode out. So Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford will face off on September 12, 2025 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, marking the next highly anticipated chapter in the world of boxing. The two fighters will compete for the undisputed super middleweight title, with Álvarez defending his multiple belts against Crawford's challenge. So yes, you heard it here. Everybody probably have seen it by now. September 12th, 2025, this year they're making it happen. You're gonna have Terence Bud Crawford versus Canelo Álvarez. I'm super excited for this fight. I think, to me, this is the biggest fight I've seen and been this excited about since Bud Crawford and Earl Spence. I'm happy to see this. There's been talks about it leading up to this point for a long time. I think everybody knew that eventually the fight would happen, but we just didn't know when. You know, when it come to boxing, these things could be long drawn out. Shout out to Turkey Al-Sheikh for, you know, stepping into the boxing game and making the fights happen that the fans want to see. I'm super excited for this. I can't wait. And it's 3 days after my birthday, so you know I'm super excited to watch that. So the fight was confirmed by Turkey Al-Sheikh just after Canelo Álvarez's victory over William Skull in Saudi Arabia on May 3rd, 2025. The matchup, a showdown for the undisputed super middleweight title, came as no surprise as Crawford was present in the arena, and the announcement immediately followed Álvarez's win. Crawford, undefeated with a 41-0 record, has a history of dominating in lower weight classes, but will step up to 168 pounds for this fight. His previous battle at 154 pounds was a victory over Israel Madavic. I'm probably pronounced that wrong, but we're going to rock with it. Marked his first foray into this weight range, making this a significant challenge. Álvarez, 63-2-2, 39 KOs, had just reclaimed his IBF, WBA, WBC, and WBO titles with a unanimous decision over Skull, scoring 119-109, 116-112, and 115-113 across the judges' scorecards. The fight held in the early morning in Saudi Arabia to suit primetime viewing on the U.S. West Coast saw a slow start. Skull's defensive and evasive style proved frustrating for Álvarez, but the Mexican star patience paid off as he landed powerful body punches that eventually sealed the win. Álvarez, who has never lost a super middleweight expressed his dissatisfaction with Skull's style, but made it clear he was ready for the next challenge, Terence Crawford. Álvarez said, I don't like to fight those kind of guys. After the fight, they came to just survive to the final round. That's why I don't like to fight them. It won't be that kind of fight against Crawford. I hate that kind of fight. He moved even more than we thought, but it's okay. We won. We're here. Crawford, who is 37 years old, has had a storied career, having previously held undisputed titles in the light welterweight and welterweight divisions. His most recent victory came in August 2024 when he defeated Israel Mardavic to claim the WBA light middleweight title. Crawford's transition to 168 pounds would be a significant leap in weight class, and he faces an uphill battle against Álvarez, who has been dominant at super middleweight despite the challenge. Crawford remains confident, boasting an unblemished record with 31 knockouts. His fight against Álvarez will be his first in over 13 months, adding another layer of difficulty to an already tough task. Crawford's supporters are hopeful that his technical skill combined with his undefeated record will be enough to overcome Álvarez's power and experience at this weight. As the two prepare for the September encounter in Las Vegas, both fighters are gearing up for what promises to be a high-stakes, high-intensity battle. Canelo Álvarez, with his extensive experience in the super middleweight division, will be looking to further cement his legacy as one of the sport's best. Meanwhile, Crawford's move up in weight will test his ability to compete against a powerhouse like Álvarez, and the fight will undoubtedly capture the attention of boxing fans worldwide. I'm super excited for this fight. I know that was just a lot. I'm glad y'all bear with me. So now we move. I'm glad. I'm very happy about this fight. I'm not gonna lie. I think this is a huge fight. I think this is big for the sport of boxing. I've been saying it for a while that I felt that the sport was dying and that it needed a spark. After after the Errol Spence Bud Crawford fight, I think that was kind of the biggest fight that you would consider a mega fight, you know what I'm saying? And now to turn around after all this time, and now you'll get Bud Crawford and Canelo, both of those guys, I feel like at the top of their game. I think that this is going to be a hell of a matchup, and it's something I'm very excited for. Like I said before at the beginning, shout out to Turkey Al-Sheikh for stepping in the boxing game and, giving the fans actually something that they want to see. These promoters, everybody nowadays is so worrying about the undefeated record and worrying about, the person. And I understand it. It's all about, it's business at the end of the day. But the fans who are actually out here supporting and paying their hard-earned money, we want to see fights that, we want to see the fights. We want to see the best fight the best. I think that's the difference between UFC and boxing. In boxing, it's a lot of cherry picking. This guy don't want to fight this guy, and this guy moving up. It's a lot. Whereas though in UFC, the best fight the best. If you lose, okay, take a couple months off and be right back at it. I'm happy that they're trying to bring this style into boxing because we need it. We need it. I don't know who to go with in this fight for early prediction. That'll be tough. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I went against Bud Crawford heavy when that Errol Spence fight was coming up. I'm talking about everywhere I went, everybody I talked to, I told him that Errol Spence would win that fight. Bud Crawford proved me completely wrong. He dominated Errol Spence. Bud, if you ever get a chance to see this, I'm letting you know, I'm still in my feelings about what you did to Errol Spence. I'm still in my feelings about that. But I think, I'm going to be honest with you, the last time we watched Bud fight, he went from 147 to 154, and you kind of could see in that fight, if you paid attention, it didn't seem like his power translated very well to a heavier weight class. Now for you to make that jump after just one fight at 54 and go up to 68, I definitely think that is going to be a challenge. But Bud Crawford is such a technician, a great counterpuncher. Just his skill set, I believe that he can make the proper adjustments to be able to actually go in there and do with Canelo. We know what Canelo's coming in there and what he wants to do. Canelo wants to cut the ring off. He wants to attack. he wants to, he wants to do, and he wants to tear that body up. I think Canelo had an issue with this past weekend's fight because Skull just refused to stop moving. He actually made Canelo move. Canelo didn't want to move that much. You feel what I'm saying? He didn't want to move that much, and I just feel like he made Canelo actually work. It was a boring fight. It was a bad fight, honestly, to me personally. But I think, like Canelo said out his own mouth, I believe it will be a completely different fight against Bud. I think Bud is going to come in there with the mindset of, I got the skills to where I think I can get the best of Canelo. And I think, it's just hard to bet against Canelo with what he's done. Canelo has just been on the road, and a lot of people call him a duck and say he don't want to fight certain people and all that, but at the end of the day, he the cash cow, and that's how boxing is. When you the cash cow, you pick and choose who you want to fight and what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad that Turkey was able to make this fight happen. I think the whole boxing community should be excited about this one. And September can't come fast enough for a lot of us, man, because like I said, the sport has been just dying. It's been dying, and we needed something like this. We needed that spark. Hopefully this will, spark other guys to get in the ring with other top guys. I think with the performance that Ryan and Devin had on Friday, I don't think that fight has much steam anymore, but could we possibly see a Devin and Teofimo who look good on Friday night? You know what I'm saying? Could we possibly see that matchup? What's going to go on with Tank? Are we going to get a rematch? Finally, you know what I'm saying? These are the conversations that need to be brought up, and I'm hoping that after this fight on September 12th between Bud and Canelo, that we could start getting those answers, and hopefully Turkey can make some of these things happen. But I'm super excited. It's too early right now to give a prediction. I'm probably going to give my prediction a little closer to around when the fight is getting close up. But I just wanted to come on and say I'm super excited. Shout out to Bud Crawford. Shout out to Canelo. I'm excited this fight is going down, and I can't wait for it to happen. Moving on to my next subject. So we're going to talk about some basketball. Like I told y'all at the beginning of the episode, how much I love y'all. I stopped watching the Cleveland versus Indiana game to come in here and start recording. I can still hear it though, and I heard what just happened at the very end. But my main question is, and this is for the two young stars in the Western Conference. So Anthony Edwards is actually getting ready to come on for game 1. SGA and the Thunder played last night, and they lost in a close one to the Denver Nuggets. But my question is this: who has the more going into these playoffs and going into this second round? OKC being down 0-1, Minnesota on as I speak right now. Between SGA and Anthony Edwards, my question is, who has the most pressure on them to make an NBA Finals this year? Is it Anthony Edwards or is it SGA? And I thought about this question because you have two young stars playing at an extremely high level. SGA more than likely going to be the MVP this year. Both playing at a very high level. OKC did lose last night, but because I said it earlier, I got to rock with it. They still my favorite to come out of the Western Conference, even though I do believe Denver can make this series very competitive, especially after what I seen last night. But I just wanted, because these are two guys that people are talking about could possibly be the face of the NBA once, LeBron, guys like LeBron, Steph, and KD are out the picture. And I just wanted to know, me personally, I believe there's more pressure for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to make it to the NBA Finals this year over Anthony Edwards. Reason being, because with SGA, we don't know how many years we're going to get like this with the Thunder. Yes, they're a young, phenomenal team. Last year, they went into the playoffs, and they were able to go in as the number 1 seed out of the Western Conference, but they got sent home in the second round by Dallas. This year, you're in a predicament where they almost win 70 games. They're at the top of everybody's list as far as favorites to come out of the Western Conference. They're, as far as Shai is playing out of his mind. OKC number 1 in defensive rating in the playoffs with a 99.4. Regular season, they were number 1 with a 107.5. Offensive rating in the playoffs, they're 9th, but in the regular season, they were 3rd. Everything just points to OKC, representing the Western Conference in the finals. For me, I feel like it's more pressure on SGA over Anthony Edwards to make an NBA Finals, because Anthony Edwards has at least shown us, last year, that come playoff time, he could step it up to another level and get his team to a certain point. You got to think, last year the Minnesota Timberwolves were one series away from being in the NBA Finals. OKC was the number 1 seed and was a lot of people's favorite to come out of the Western Conference last year. They got sent home in the second round. There's a possibility going up against Denver that OKC could get sent home this year. And my thing is, we haven't seen, yes, is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander a great player? Absolutely. Will he probably more than likely win the MVP this year? Absolutely. Do I agree with that? No, but that's what people think, so I'm going to rock with it. If you have the type of year that OKC has had this year, and you end up getting sent home in the second round, I believe that will be a huge disappointment. Whereas though Anthony Edwards in Minnesota, they're the 6th seed. Not saying that people not expecting anything from them, but they didn't have the type of year that OKC had. And I understand that it's a team game, but when you're the star, it falls on you. SGA just coming out of the series against the Grizzlies, averaged 27.8 points per game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. He shot 40% from the field, 25% from 3. Anthony Edwards in his 5 games against the Lakers averaged 26.8 points per game, 8.4 rebounds, 6.2 assists. He also shot 40% from the field and 30% from 3. OKC this season, like I mentioned, they were 68-14. Timberwolves were 49-33. Not also to mention the fact, outside of SGA, the Oklahoma City Thunder have 6 players scoring in double figures. J-Dub scoring 21.6 points per game. He was a first-time All-Star. Lou Dort giving you 10 points. Isaiah Hartenstein giving you 11 points. Chet Holmgren giving you 15 points per game. Aaron Wiggins giving you 12 points off the bench. Isaiah Joe giving you 10 points off the bench. I already told you the defensive ratings and everything like that for the Thunder. I just feel like the pressure is on Shai. The pressure is on Shai to make it to a finals. Not saying win the whole thing, but at least make it to a finals. We seen Anthony Edwards at least show that he could carry the load for his team. He's shown us that he can get his team to a certain point, and you know what I'm saying? He can get them right there at the mountaintop. Now, will he be able to take them over? I don't know, but that has yet to be seen. But at least he made it to a Western Conference Finals. I feel like OKC can't go back-to-back years going into the playoffs as the number 1 seed and at least not make it to a conference finals, bro. I don't think that. I don't see that. So if it was up to me, I would say there's more pressure on SGA than it is on Anthony Edwards to make a finals, at least this year. Now, maybe some years up the line, it may switch, and the pressure Anthony Edwards may start to get under that fire. But right now, I'm going to say Shai just because of the year. And honestly, this is a test to his greatness and what his team has done, because I'm going to say it's more pressure on Shai because how they look this year. You know what I'm saying? After what they did last year, to come back and be even better this year, I mean, I feel as though if they don't make it at least bare minimum to a Western Conference Finals, in my opinion, this would be a failed season for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But that's just my opinion. I want y'all to let me know what y'all feel in the comments. Do y'all think there's more pressure on Anthony Edwards or SGA to make a finals this year? You know what I'm saying? And it don't even have to be this year. I'm just using this year because we're currently in the playoffs. But who has the most pressure on them to make it to an NBA Finals? Is it SGA or is it Anthony Edwards? In my opinion, it's SGA, but let me know what y'all think. Moving on. So I just told y'all, right? Because look, this right here is straight off the dome. This ain't written. So listen. The next topic that I had was, which team should be more concerned after Game 1 losses? Cavaliers, Oklahoma City, or Boston? Now, I had down here Boston should be more concerned, just due to the fact that with me, it's not about wins and losses. That's what it's always. It's about how you won a game or how you lost a game. My problem with Boston is the way that they lost that game. You up 20 points. You shot yourself. You did two things. You shot yourself out of the game, and you shot yourself out of the game and also shot yourself to a position where you let the Knicks hawk you down and win that game yesterday. I felt as though Boston had that game firmly under control, and they allowed the grittiness of New York to just come back and scrape and win that game. And you know what I'm saying? That was a shocker to me. Jalen Brunson played out of his mind. Mikal Bridges stepped up on the defensive end when he needed to step up. Cat really didn't have a good game, and New York was still able to pull that game out. And on top of all that, it was just for Boston to shoot as poorly as they did. And I see a lot of people making excuses saying, well, you know, Boston had an off shooting night. That's not an excuse. They was up 20 points. But I've been telling everybody when it comes to Boston, they live and die by that three-pointer. They live and die by it. I felt as though Porzingis not playing played a huge factor too. But that's a huge win yesterday for the Knicks, just due to the simple fact that they didn't, you know, for them to steal home court just like that after being down 20 and to claw their way back into that game and win in that fashion in overtime. I'm going to tell you something, Boston. The pressure is on. The pressure is on. I still got Boston to win the series, but now the pressure is on for you to go win game 2. And a team like New York, to give them that type of confidence is huge. And for them, and you know, now Boston has to win game 2, and now you have to go to the Garden, and you know that atmosphere is going to be out of his mind. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be out of their mind in the Garden. So I had Boston down here, right, who's as the team that should be most concerned. I wrote down all these notes. After what I just heard and witnessed, Cleveland is, oh my God, hey, y'all seat is on fire right now. Y'all seat is on fire right now. 14 points going into the fourth quarter and allowed the Indiana to claw its way back and win that game like that is absolutely crazy. Now, I get it. No Darius Garland, no Evan Mobley, but I don't even know the stat line right now, but I know Donovan Mitchell went bonkers, 40-something points. You know what I'm saying? And for y'all to allow Indiana's on a magical run. I don't know what it is. For some reason, every year, Indiana get in the playoffs and they just go on these magical runs. We're going to have to start putting some respect on Halliburton and them boys, man. We're going to have to start putting some respect on Halliburton, Miles Turner. They got Neesmith. They got a lot of guys over there that just, they play physical, they play fast, you know what I'm saying? And they believe in each other. And I'm going to be honest, right now, they got Cleveland on the ropes. Honestly speaking, this thing possibly can go Pacers in 5. I just don't think Cleveland is, I just don't see them going out in a sweep with the year that they've had. I just don't see them. Going out in 5 is bad all around. Going out, period, is bad after the year that they had. But they are down some key pieces, but still, you gotta at least win one of those games at home. Now you going to Indiana down 0-2 with that crowd, that atmosphere. Oh my God. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it's gonna happen, but it's definitely possible. If Indiana wins game 3, it's possible that we could be looking at a sweep. And you got to think about what Cleveland mentality going to be after being up 14 going into the fourth, thinking, okay, we can win game 2. Our main guy's going off. Donovan is going crazy. We can sneak it. We can win game 2, go to Indiana tied up, and, you know, whatever happens from there happens. But to go to Indiana down 0-2, oh, man, y'all in trouble. Y'all in trouble. Y'all are in some serious trouble. Boston, y'all better tighten up and do y'all thing. Because if I think the Knicks did what they were supposed to do. They snuck one game. If they lose game 2, okay, so be it. We'll go ahead and take it to the Garden and see if we can win both there. But if the Knicks manage to win game 2 as well, I don't know about that one. So that right there, my third topic, I had to scrap that whole one. I had Boston who should be more concerned. I wrote all these notes down, but I'm scribing that. Cleveland, after this game 1 and game 2 loss, should be most concerned. Because y'all in some trouble. Indiana got y'all on the ropes. Y'all better fight back. Y'all better fight back. And last but not least, this is another one I'm going straight off the dome with, man. This is about referring to back to OKC. I talked about Shea. We got to stop. I made a post about it earlier. I dropped it on TikTok. I dropped it on YouTube. But I said, you know what? I'm going to bring it to the pod. I just want to know, after watching what Nikola Jokić did, and this completely off script. This is just me talking now at this point. I just want to know, are we ready to admit it now? Oh, yeah. I've been telling people, Nikola Jokić is the real MVP. Nikola Jokić is the real MVP. Nobody wanted to listen to me. Everybody kept saying, no, it's Shea. I like Shea. I like SGA. Don't get it twisted. I like SGA a lot. SGA can go get you a bucket. But there's absolutely, and I said this before, there's absolutely no way we could sit back and watch what Nikola Jokić is doing and say that this man is not the MVP. Not only is he the MVP, he's the best player in basketball, and it's not even up for debate, bro. It's not even up for debate. 42, 22, and 6. That's what he had last night. 42 points, 22 rebounds, 6 assists. He went 15 of 29 from the field. So it's not, he ain't just out there chucking. He went 2 of 6 from 3, and he went 10 of 13 from the free throw line. I'm sorry, y'all. I understand it's not flashy, it's not sexy, it may not be fun to watch. But at the end of the day, Nikola Jokić is the MVP. Nikola Jokić is the best player in basketball. I don't even understand how anybody can even debate this at this point. Like, I don't get it. And I said it on my clip, and I'm gonna say it again now on the pod. Because to me right now he's already top 5. Some people don't want to put him there. They got their own reasons. The man is a multi-time MVP. He is an NBA champion. I don't understand what more he needs, but okay, it's fine. If y'all don't want to give it to him, that's fine. But I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. If this man continues the arc that he's on, doing the things that he's been doing, when it's all said and done, you can deny it, you can fight back with it, you could say whatever you want. If this man continues the arc that he's on currently, Nikola Jokić is going to be the greatest center of all time. If people not already saying he the greatest center of all time. In my book, it's shot. That's who's my greatest center of all time. But if Nikola Jokić continues the arc that he's on, doing what he's doing, not only in the regular season, but it's carrying over into the playoffs, if he continues to do what he's doing, Nikola Jokić, when it's all said and done, is going to be the greatest center of all time. Because he brings so much. He gives you scoring. He gives you rebounding. He gives you assists. He stepped it up on the defensive end in the playoffs. He brings so much to the table. I don't understand how people can even debate that this man is not the most valuable player. And I understand. Eventually, it gets fatigued. People get tired of hearing it. They get tired of seeing it. It's voters fatigue. They get tired of voting for him. I understand. Same thing like in football when we watch Lamar Jackson. I get it. But come on, bro. At the end of the day, you got the truth is the truth. That man is the most valuable player. That man is the best player in basketball, and it's not even close. And then they fire their coach at the end of the season, at the end of the regular season. You see this man coaching up his team. He's doing everything, bro. He's doing everything. If Nikola Jokić continues this arc, when it's all said and done, he's going to be the greatest player. He's going to be the greatest center of all time. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I just wanted to come on here, rap with y'all. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode 45 up. We 5 episodes away from the landmark of 50 episodes, man. I appreciate everybody for locking in and tuning in with me each and every week. And also, I don't know if y'all watch, but I bring the heat. I bring the heat with them hats every week. Don't mind the haircut. But you see today I switched it up a little bit. I went Washington Capitals due to the fact they're in their game one. I don't even know the result to that game yet. I'm gonna check once I'm done with this, but I said I'm gonna represent the Caps today. You know what I'm saying? Because they in they second round game one against, I believe is Carolina. I forgot the team they playing, but I said I'm gonna represent the Caps since they on that ice tonight. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they won. I'm gonna check once I leave here, but I want to do, once we probably hit 50 episodes or something like that, I'm going to just probably start doing a hat check every episode, because, you know, I feel like as far as the sporting podcast go, I think I got the best hat game. You can go back from my first episode all the way up to now. I think I got the best hat game in it. And New Era need to go ahead and send that sponsor, you know what I'm saying? Send that sponsor over. You can go back from first episode all the way up to 45 and see I've been doing my thing as far as the hats go. Just throwing that out there. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. Like I said, man, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me each and every week. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. We on our way to 300 subscribers. Also, do not forget to like the video. Also, share it. Like, share it when the content is dropped, man. And also follow me on all social media platforms. You know they're going to be tagged at the beginning of the video, man. And I'll see y'all next time.